All right. Konnichiwa. Good Abend. Good evening. How many of you, by a show of hands, are regularly interacting with people from a culture that is not your own? Thank you. How many of you are not interacting with somebody from another culture on a daily basis? Thank you. That is nobody. Excellent. You've come to the right place. You have the right address in your GPS. Excellent. My name is Christian Höferle. That's how we pronounce it in Germany. Most Americans call me Christian, and they're glad that they don't have to say my last name because it's utterly difficult for most non-German speakers. We're here to talk about culture shock, sushi, and sausage. This is the best image I could find for this evening. I hope those traditionalists among you don't take offense to this, but this is sushi and sausage. I have about 20 minutes to share with you some of the basics that we work with our clients when we help them bridge cultural differences in the workplace. So this is not a cultural training program. This is a 20-minute, 30,000 feet above the earth overview of my line of work. So I hope by the end of these 20 minutes you get a better understanding of how we can help your organization or how we help the companies that we work with. So how many of you sell to people from other cultures? How many of you have had to onboard somebody on your team that was not from your native culture and that proved to be somewhat challenging sometimes? Yes, thank you. So most of you in this room, to a certain extent, have had the experience of bridging cultural differences in the workplace. Am I right? Okay. Now, culture affects all of our behaviors. So no matter if we are at work, or if we're at home, or if we're in a social environment like this, if we're selling, if we're interacting with coworkers, our behaviors are determined by our cultural DNA, by our wiring. So people from Japan work in the cultural mindset of the Japanese norms. So keep in mind that every culture is not monolithical. We have differences within certain cultures, but we can assume that most cultures have a certain way of doing things. That's why culture is important. Most of my clients, when they first deal with me, they are wondering, oh, why do we have to deal with this fuzzy stuff, all this soft skills, culture nonsense, that doesn't pay my bills. No, it doesn't, but it's going to cost you a boatload of money if you don't address it in your company. Because most of us don't see the world as it is. Most of us see the world as we are. So for those of you in the back, I hope you can see the slide. The rhino does not know that he or she has this big thing on its nose. That's why every picture that the rhino is painting will have that nose in it. It's perfectly normal. You will, if I don't wear a hand mic, you will never see me say the word normal without doing this. Because in my work, there is no such thing as normal. Normal is a setting on the washing machine. Everybody has a normal. There's 80 people in here, there's 80 different sets of normal. And every normal is just as valid as the other. But how do we moderate, how do we reconcile the different sets of normal? We try to pay attention to what we do, and we try to be conscious of other behaviors, but even though we may be prepared for that, we still sometimes get it wrong. It's like a dance. It's like a waltz, and you're still practicing. Sometimes you step on your partner's toes, despite the fact that you know that you have to pay close attention to every move you're making. Now, I would like to do a little exercise with you. I know some of you are still drinking and eating. I hope I'm not distracting you too much, but those of you who want to participate in this exercise, I would ask you to split down half of this room. So if you can see my hand pointing at you, so yeah, I'm like Moses parting the waters. So one half of the room step over to this side. But don't be shy, we need about an even number. So over to the beer and sake side, excellent. and the other half can stay here. So now, what I would like you to do, the people along the wall, along the beer and sake side, for one moment, would you please turn your heads towards the Brandenburg Gate, down this way. Don't look at the slide. No cheating. Okay, the rest of you, you're going to be Group A. I would ask you to read the slide in silence. This is your character description. For the next 3 minutes, I would like you to be that person. If you can't read it from all the way back there, feel free to come up here and read it. I'll give you another 15 seconds to remember your character. And you can also think about your Oscar Reception speech, but just make sure that you got your character down. Okay, you done? Okay. Now, here are the A's. Remember? You remember your character, right? So I want you to turn to the Brandenburg Gate now. Don't look up here. Don't look up here. All the way down to the Brandenburg Gate. No cheating. Okay. The people on the wall side, you can look up here now. This is your character description. So this is the person that you will be for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Read it closely. Remember what to do. And if you're finished reading it, just raise your hand so I know that you got it. Okay, some of you still reading? Okay, good. All right, so A's and B's, you know your characters. Now, what I would like you to do, A's and B's, start mingling, cross the aisle, and start a conversation. Go. You have 2 minutes. Go. Alright, and stop. Thank you. That's good. Excellent. You did a great job. Give yourself a round of applause. Woo. Good job, everybody. Applause. I'll hit the mic. So, what just happened? Anyone? What just happened? Shout it out to me.
Cultural interaction.
Cultural interaction. Anyone else? Awkward, uncomfortable.
It's kind of hard to stick to my character. So
It was hard to stick to your character? Okay. Because it was not who you are?
No.
Okay. Excellent. Anybody else? Thank you. So it was uncomfortable. It was sometimes hard to stick to a character. It was an interaction across different behavioral patterns. Some of you were not comfortable with the character description that I gave you because it does not represent how you would like to act, right? For some of you, it may have been perfectly normal.